Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So this time, today, for the first time we can see actually Alliance Rampart evolution map, and I kind of also wanted to talk a bit more about Alliance Rampart evolution. And number one, it is kind of interesting because this map, from what I gathered, is going to be like randomly generated. Event details, map structure. The map has been structured for balanced and engaging experience, built with modularity. Sections, path, bosses, defenders, and tuning. Dynamic defender pools. We have built a system that spawns a new set of defenders each time the event runs, while the bosses remain the same. The system uses a curated pool of champions, but may result in duplicate defenders on the map. So, the interesting thing is basically kind of like, I don't know, incursions principle, where every week you will get a different set of champions on this map, and it can be like very random, and we can see that immediately, obviously, significantly will alter the difficulty of each of these lanes. For example, if you do need to deal with Black Widow, Clairvoyant, Shield, Silver Surfer, Old Man Logan, and Sabretooth, that is significantly easier than if you need to deal with, Doctor Strange, Guardian, Mordo, I would say, and Scarlet Witch. Or, there's generally do tend to slide in some tricky defenders, like, Strat can be a bit finicky to fight against in specific nodes, or Green Goblin, and there will be some very annoying defenders, but they kind of get randomly generated, right? The second thing I immediately want to take a look at is the defender health pools. And 700k, it's actually, I think, doable, given that we have to clear this once a week. I think it's, I kind of expected worse, to be honest. I really did. So, all that put together, I personally am kind of looking forward to this Alliance Rampart evolution. Obviously, we'll see when we play through it. It would be nice if it had a bit different rewards. But I also happened to watch Vega's video on the new form of AQ. And I kind of like where his head is at, and I do agree with him to a large degree. There is, a bit different point of view for a few things as well. But number one is the fact that you can finally have another place where to use these kind of like ramp up champions. And that's going to be the second thing that we need to take a look at, because we do have the tag now in the game that is called AQ ramp, and then we can see which champions we will be able to use and which we will have. And what Vega said, and what is also entirely accurate, it is a very cool thing that we get another place where to use these champions that we do not necessarily use daily. For instance, Wong. I know a lot of people like and enjoy Wong, but realistically, you only have good reason to use Wong like once in 2 years in Necropolis, and then maybe a handful of times somewhere else in like specific fights. And that goes to a lot of champions. And that obviously has and is altering our opinion on the champion value. And it kind of sucks if you really like specific champions and you don't get to play with them, or there's no good reason to use him. It feels like it's kind of like purposeless. For instance, for the sake of argument, you really like Star-Lord. It's like, what you can do with Star-Lord? Where are you going to use him? Why would you? Because, AQ has very specific requirements, and he doesn't generally have the most utility to fit like all the lanes well. You can maybe squeeze him in here and there, but you're just making life harder for yourself. And casual questing, since he's a ramp-up champion, he'd be slower than most because he doesn't carry his ramp-over fights anyways. And Kabam, he's trying to give us more and different ways how to use these champions. I like that, but again, I do think Kabam is moving in the wrong direction here a bit. And again, somebody is going to scream at me like BG Brainrot and stuff like that. But listen up here. This AQ thing is about stats. I don't know how you guys are personally looking at it and when you're going to be deciding which champion to use. But I, again, will look at which champions I have already ranked up. And then I'm going to pick one of those. And then I'm going to use it. I am almost certainly not going to rank up a champion to use for this content that comes like once a month. Like for instance, Wong. Let's talk more about Wong. I'm not gonna be ranking up Wong to rank 4 for this. It's like, because why would I if I can just use, I don't know, Serpent or Yondu or Null or somebody that I already have ranked up. And that goes back to the incentives part, and it also goes back to the way the game works. Because this is not a piece of content we can replay. This is not something that we do daily. This is not something that, again, in my opinion, is going to end up grabbing a ton of people's rank up resources. It is a good reason to kind of like find an excuse to rank up a champion you might have wanted to rank up anyways. But in my opinion, it's still not going to work as the function that it seems to have been intended. It's, again, the direction that Kabam is pulling with, a release of quite a few rank up champions recently. And my solution to that was just to have Kabam keep doing what they had been doing with a bunch of champions. Even here, for instance, like Obsidian, he does get like one line of text in Battlegrounds, yada yada yada, and that has done kind of like wonders for him. If Cal did not have that line for Battlegrounds, he would be significantly less popular, less ranked, less used champion today. Even if you don't care for Battlegrounds mode, it's just an added benefit this champion has. And similar things, again, function for Spider-Punk, for Shatra, and a plethora of champions. And Kabam did that for like a year. And there was absolutely no reason to stop. And I genuinely hope Kabam kind of like alters this. Because in between Coliseum giving us more avenues to use champions that do ramp up, in between this new form of AQ, in between whatever else they are cooking, I like that. For instance, this Rampart evolution thing is just about everything I would have wanted in AQ changes. Number one, it's not the same fights every time. The fights get randomly spawned, so the quest is going to look different. Number two, I do not have to kind of redo it every day. I do not have to take the same test every day. So I like that, where, when I do have time, I'm going to clear it. It might be on day 1, it might be on day 3, who knows, but I'm not holding anybody up, and I can have more agency on my time and on my time management. And a lot of this is like very, very, very good. I just want Kabam to kind of see it to the end and, make it the best it can be. And if part of this vision and like involves releasing Ramp Up Champion and expecting players to chase and acquire and, hype over those ramp up champions, I don't think it's necessarily going to work out the way Kabam is thinking it's going to work out. Because one of the reasons why these things like are so important is the replayability. Is the thing that if you rank up a champion for like specific game modes, like Battlegrounds, you can use that champion every day, multiple times a day, and in most matches that champion can play a difference. If you rank up a champion for like Necropolis, you generally get to use that champion previously once in a couple of years. Now, thanks to Coliseum, now thanks to this change to Alliance Rampart Evolution, it is going to be significantly more frequent, but it is still only going to be a couple of times in a month, opposed to daily. So I still think that's going to grab a ton of players' priority. But there we go. I actually look forward to playing this. Again, I just worry that Kabam has maybe kind of, again, misjudged the impact this will have. Because again, on a personal level, I'm not saying that everybody's going to do that. I'm not saying that everybody should do that. But whenever, this game was going to come out, I'm just going to use whichever champions already have ranked up that, fit the description. I'm not going to be ranking up champions for this Alliance Rampart. Kind of like the same for Coliseum. It might be a little tiny factor when I decide who I rank up, but it's not the driving force of which champions I will or will not rank up. That, I think, generally for like the most engaged players will still by far and away remain to be prestige and the Battlegrounds and Alliance War compatibility. So, let me know what you guys think about that. How well Kabam is doing with their transition to the game meta, I suppose. Because surprisingly, I think, again, Kabam is misunderstanding the impact this will have. Maybe I am just set in my ways and have a BG brain rot. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information